So let's now talk about 7 testing principles. So I put here a question. Do you want to be a tester qualified? Of course you want. So if you want, the first thing you should know is these 7 testing principles. So these testing principles, every tester should know these 7 testing principles. Principles actually is collected and established by ISTQP. ISTQP is organizations that's provide a certificate as a tester qualified, and ISTQP is stand for International Software Testing Qualification Boards. So if you want to obtain these certificates, this course will help you, not these 7 test principles, but this course, because actually this course cover, we can say, is the most important. It's not all the topics required by STQP, but most important topics that is required for that certificates. So let's now go through these 7 principles one by one. So the first one is testing show the presence of the defects. So we cannot approve after complete the testing. We cannot approve the system is free of bug. So this is the first principles. The second one, exhaustive testing is impossible. So as we see in last class, we give an example of the exhaustive testing. So exhaustive testing actually it's extremely hard, if not impossible. Third principle, early testing is crucial. The early testing it's important because if we leave the testing to the end, the errors and the bug will be more expensive. So we should do the testing from the early stage, from the requirements to the design to the implementation and so on. So to catch the error in the early stage better than in the end. Principle number 4, defects tend to be clustered. So actually, if you have many modules, so if you have many modules and you find some errors in or defect in one module, these modules actually is most likely to have another defects. You should also test that module is carefully because maybe there is another defect in the same module. Principle number 5, pesticide paradox. So pesticide paradox, this is just they give something like expression. So this one we mean here, if you have, for example, you have a test cases and you test one modules, and after finish this testing, there is no bug or you cannot find a bug. So repeating the same testing with the same test cases will not find any more bug. So you have to find another techniques. You have to find maybe another test cases that can find a bug. Principle number 6, testing is context dependent. So testing is dependent. What we mean by dependence? Actually, it's depend on the system itself. The software testing or the testing is depends on the software itself. So if you have a system and this system, for example, is a calculator. So this calculator or the testing for this calculator, of course, will be different than when you design a system for a bank or for a company. Of course, there you will give much attention for security, you will give much attention for the usability. The testing will not be same for the two systems. The last principle is that absence of error is fallacy. So here, be aware of that problem, be aware of that because maybe you test your application and there is no bug, but your application is unusable. Your application unusable. It's difficult to use. It's difficult to understand. So that's mean there is no point. There is no points if your application is free of bug, but people cannot use your application. So you have to make sure that uh, beside you test your software, beside the testing, okay, your application also meets the other requirement, for example, the user requirements. User want application that's usable, application easy to use, application the user feel happy when you use it. So you have also to meet the user requirements, not only our system is free of bug but cannot be used. So be aware of the percent of error. So guys, here we have different level of software testing process. So guys, actually it's based on the system, what we can say is the maturity of the system or the testing that is used. So some people in the software, or this is maybe guys, if you go back to the history. So some people's or some authors, they categorize the organizations or the companies into some levels based on the test process maturity. So some people, okay, as we say, they don't distinguish between the testing and debug. So this is, they don't even give them a number of the level. They put it under level 0. Okay, so this is the testing level in terms of the maturity. So some people, as we say, they go to the back days or the old days, and they don't even debug or distinguish between the debug and test. So this one, they give them a 0 level. So the second level, which is the purpose of testing, is to show the correctness. Okay, the correctness, as we say, okay, our testing or our system, it's work well. Our system, it's work well. How it's the work well? Okay, the output, it's same as expected result. We have, for example, I got the input, so it's give me the same output as I expected. So this is the first level. The second level, which is the purpose of testing, is to show the software does not work. So here, as we said, we have in the history, there is some people, they used some destructive approach. So this is the same thing. We have the input that can lead to correct input, correct output. So here also, they try to check this system with incorrect input. For example, the system is accept only the number. So we try what happens if we input some string or some special character. So also in some companies, organization, okay, they believe that, okay, is the system, it's difficult since we cannot approve that the system is free of bug. So we have only to reduce the what we can say, the risk of the failure. We can just reduce the risk of the failure. So also it's that's mean just not only, I mean, the system that we assume that here in this level, the system it's work, but we cannot approve it's 100% is free of bugs. So we have to only reduce the system risk. Okay, the last level, which is the maybe it's the best one. So here, actually, as we say, okay, this is the mental discipline. Testing is the mental discipline. So it's not just is a process. No, it's something now. It's in their mindset. So and they work as a team, even the tester or the developer in the organization, to produce high quality applications or systems. So here in this level, as we say, they don't just, okay, we have the system, we have to test it now, test it. No, from the beginning of the process of the development until the end, in their mindset, okay, testing is there in every stage. Okay, this is the highest software quality. So this is level 4. So, okay, guys, okay, I mean, when you develop your system, also you should put yourself in which category. Okay, you just want to develop your system and then you just want to check the debug, okay, or you want just later, okay, the system it's work as expected, just the correct, it's correct, only it's correct, the system is correct. So this is also, you have to put yourself in which category. So this is the 5 or 5, actually we can say 5 levels, even it's until 4, but it's 5 levels of the process of the software testing.